Well, es Fernanda. I was originally going to give you 24 reflections because I turned 24 today. But I'm going to go off script. And I'm actually going to talk about this idea of integration when you're stepping into a new version of yourself. And I've kind of touched on this in recent videos about how there's an in-between phase and you need to make space for that, and where you're not the old version or the new version fully. There's also a version where you're starting to step into your new version, but you're not fully there, or it's showing up externally, but you haven't caught up internally. And I want to talk about that phase and what it means to lean into that. Because, and I think I've mentioned it before, that when you're in that, you're letting go of old versions, you're letting go of not only behaviors and habits that were like neural pathways, but like they're so ingrained, but also you're making space for losing that. You're making space for whatever is showing up externally, the way that you need to show up for that. You need to lose old versions. You need to let go of the way things have been, the way you've always done things. And that's not always easy. And it's not always as simple as, oh, well, this is my new standard. This is how I show up now. This is the confidence I have. This is like, it's also about leaving room for letting go. Because when you think about planning for your dream woman or your dream person, the person that you're stepping into, right? You think about, these are their qualities, these are their habits, and you can make a list and you can act as that. But if you don't make room to grieve, then there's no space for those things to come in, for those behaviors to settle into. And it's like this emotion that lingers, this grief that lingers. And it's not about not enjoying and not being present with all the things that are coming or that are here, but it's about allowing yourself to sit with the parts of you that were, like as if you were giving them a proper goodbye. Because part of it is remembering those were learned. A lot of them will be limiting beliefs that you have to let go of, that just they can't come with you in this new era of your life. But they've been there the whole time. They were always protecting you, and so it's really important to allow yourself to feel the grief. Because when you start to change and when you start to get new things into your life, you think, oh, well, it's all happy and fun, and these are good things, like I should feel happy, and you should, or you can feel happy from that. But it's also about realizing that those parts of you that were protecting you, they're so deeply ingrained, but they're not yours. They were external beliefs, external things that you took on to fit in, to survive, and they still deserve recognition for that. And until you can sit with them, it's like a different kind of integration. You're not sitting with them and feeling them so that they'll stay with you, but in order to let them go. And when you can sit with the sadness, the grief, whatever emotions, loneliness, like the things that you think can't come with you, instead of ignoring them and resisting them, by sitting with them and feeling them, then you can then take that and transmute it into whatever you're stepping into. But only once you've felt it, only once you've acknowledged those versions, those limiting beliefs, can you release them and then now accept and receive everything that's new for you, that's meant for you as the version that you've become. And it's really bittersweet because you think that, oh, well, now that things are working out my way, now that I'm integrating, or I've become the version I was always meant to be or remember. It's kind of like a ritual. You have to let them go in order for new things to come in. And like, imagine you're in your closet and you're cleaning out your old clothes. But instead of throwing out the old clothes that doesn't fit you anymore, you just throw it behind you into a different pile. So then, have you actually made room for the new things that you want to bring in? Or are you just moving them to somewhere else, but then they're still holding that same space? Whereas if you took them out of your closet, out of your room, and you donated them, gave them to someone else, then that space is actually empty and can be filled. So that's what I mean. And it's easy to think that because these things are good, you just need to keep moving forward, you just need to keep looking forward, but those things brought you here. And so until you fully release them, you can't fully look forward either, because they're always there, they're always in the background. And it's easy to not want to feel them because they feel bad. And I don't blame you for that. But if you're just go, 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 you won't actually be fully in the present either. And it's normal for those things to bring grief. Even when things are good, you can still feel sadness. You can still feel fear, you can still feel anxiety, stress. But the more you resist, the more they're going to linger. And so in my previous video, I talked about integration and grounding, and it kind of goes the same for this. Acknowledging whatever is there that wants attention, integrating it by feeling it, and making room for that. And not only making room when something happens, but making it a habit of, once a week, I give myself this space, or an hour a day, or less than that, 5 minutes, like whatever works for you, whatever feels sustainable. And then after that, having a grounding period of, this is how I come back to myself. This is how I remember who I was when everything's calm, and like a recharge period. And then you can go back to whatever you do. And it might come in waves, and that's fine. But I think the important part is to not ignore it and just allow yourself to feel it, and know that every time that you do that, you're making more room for all the things that want to come in, and to integrate the new parts of you fully. And I guess that's what makes it exciting, or that could be your motivation, is that if you want to fully become this new version, step into it, integrate, this is the last step. So yeah, if anything resonated, I'd love to hear your perspective. I'm sending you so much love, and I'll see you in the next video.